Hello and welcome to Critical Strike 113. I'm Josh, and here with me is Bill.
Fucking Carl.
And fuck Carl.
His excuse is similar to someone like, oh, I lost my arm. What? Well, I tweeted about it. And then you dig through his Twitter feed and it would say something like, I fell down. So, what? How does that mean you're not going to be here and you lost your arm? Well.
Not even like sending us an email saying, hey, I'm not going to be on the show this week, or I forgot my laptop, or something happened. No, he sends out a tweet.
Yeah. It's kind of a bitch move, actually.
Thus assuming I actually look at what he does.
Well, I do.
Well, you didn't know.
Well, there's a website by some guy dedicated to stalking Carl that I follow, and there's a lot of good pointers in learning what he does during the day.
Mm-hmm. Is it roommatefreakazoid.com?
Actually, it's strangely enough under ilovenancy.com.
Oh, yes, ilovenancy.com.
Well, Josh is back. I mean, it's going to be really tough to give up the video game talk and go back to talking about books, but I'm sure people will adapt.
See, Carl didn't even know that. I think I just kind of joint said Kyle and Carl at once. Kyle didn't know that I was going to be on this episode, as far as I know.
But you said a tweet where you said, my cat's staring at me. I just assumed that meant you were back on the podcast this week.
Well, you can interpret that a few ways.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm being stared at by my cat, or I'm going to be on the show.
Because we all know that when your cat stares at you, it's only pre-podcast. So I just, that's what it meant.
Well, see, that's why I was looking forward to Kyle sending out his tweet saying, my roommate's staring at me.
Yeah.
And he's holding a knife.
And breathing in a really gross way, with like the phlegm right at the cusp of popping out, but not quite.
If somebody ever was sitting across from me doing that, which they might have at one of the PAXs I've gone to, I just didn't realize it.
Oh, yeah.
But if anybody ever stared at me and did that, you would see a giant man running away.
Yeah, speaking of PAX, I was looking at pictures of that hot girl that you harassed. It's still fun to look at her and think of the fear she had at that moment. Just saying.
So moving on. Fuck Carl.
Just move it on.
Just let it happen, Bill.
Just let it happen. So Carl's not here on Josh's return.
Yeah.
I would have a word that I would call him, but Josh takes issue with it now, so I'll just call him a cunt.
That's the word that I had issue with.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
And to only go into that is, I was only saying that, like Bill always says, and he said it numerous times on the show, he only uses that word because he picked it up from us people from the Northeast.
Yeah.
And I hardly ever use that word. And Bill, I was going down his Twitter feed, says it a lot.
I'm like a fucking grade school kid. You learn about these words and then you use them to death, and then they just become occasional uses. Right now, I'm in the favorite zone.
Like, honestly, I would say Mike probably says it more than Kyle and I.
What about the Kiwi?
Oh, he definitely uses it way more than all of us.
Yeah, there's that too. So
yeah, you probably picked it up from James.
Yeah.
Fucking James.
I hope that he doesn't bullshit on the next podcast and actually goes through his journeys through America and doesn't make it like a 10-minute thing. Like, I want as much information and perspective as I can get.
And if I don't hear any Neil Diamond coming to America, I'm turning it off.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just putting that, I mean, the guy loves Neil Diamond in the first place.
Really needs to start with that, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Neil Diamond have like a, I don't know what they would call that on the Vegas Strip, like a tenure or something there, where you're just playing a show 4 or 5 days a week?
I'm
thinking of like Tom Jones or something.
I know Celine Dion does, which I don't know why I know that.
Oh, no, there's the Vegas guy that I'm thinking of. I'm getting them all mixed up.
You're thinking of Tom Jones?
No, the marginally talented male singers. It's not him. He was in that really terrible Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. The wife was infatuated with him.
Tom Jones?
No, it's not Tom Jones. He's got bigger hair and shinier teeth.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but he's really fucking similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't like Neil Diamond do that kind of shit or something, right?
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have worked it out if I was a big fan traveling to, a real country. I would have made that happen.
And apparently not a fan of Vancouver.
Yeah, that's not at all what I was expecting. I mean, Vancouver has some cool things to offer. I mean, are they staying in the one terrible ghetto area or something?
I don't know, but I've always wanted to go there. It's fucking beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you can get shivved really easy, but it's no different than most cities.
New York.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to New York and you're complaining about Vancouver, there's a problem.
Well, I mean, I think the homeless populace there, it's more prevalent in areas because it's not as massive as something like New York, so it is a bit more noticeable, and they have a bit more of a, like, seaside culture, sailors and fishermen and shit.
Seamen.
But I don't know. I didn't travel that far north. I went basically right to the border, and that's where we pulled back. Yep.
I see homeless, pull out.
Didn't even play just the tip with Canada. She wasn't game.
No. So yeah, I'm back on the show. Yeah.
People
Kyle.
are happy. I'm happy. Kyle was so happy he didn't even fucking show up.
Yeah, what a fucking asshole.
What was that?
I almost
You almost said he was what a fucking Carl. I mean, really.
What a fucking Carl. Of all the Carls to be, he had to be Carl. Fucking Tim.
Yeah. Well, it's better to have you back so that we're not just running around in the dark with scissors.
Well, I mean, and really, the way that I did it is I didn't give any explanation as to why I'm not going to be on the show.
Do we want to tell people about the botched vasectomy?
I have an angry inch.
Is that show still on Netflix?
I don't know.
I hope it is. That was something else, man.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch. There you go.
Wow.
I got that.
Anyway.
I got that out there. Basically what it came down to, though, is because, like, all I did was in the Google Doc put in an explanation saying, hey, I'm not going to be on the show until, like, mid-March because I got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys kind of just ran with it, being like, oh, I wonder what's going on. Because I never really talked to either of you about it. I never really talked to anybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a break.
Fully understandable.
Simple as that. I've done the show for 7 years at this point. I wanted a break.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, work got really crazy. I got tired of video games. In fact, other than a few League of Legends matches, I didn't play any video games from January until like a week ago. So yeah, I wanted a break.
I wish I had some sad Dr. Phil type music to play right now. How did that make you feel, Josh?
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Do you care about games again?
No.
Yeah, me either. I've been working too much. I haven't really played a whole hell of a lot, so I'm hoping your 3-month stint of little games can be condensed into something here.
Well, like I said, though, I didn't play any games in that period.
Yeah.
Because if you recall the last episode I was on, I pretty much talked about me finishing New Super Mario Bros. U. It was that long ago. And so, yeah, I didn't play shit from that point on. Which, by the way, New Super Mario Bros. U, fantastic game.
Really?
Yep.
Is your Wii still being played?
I would put it as none of my consoles are being played.
Yeah, my consoles are dead. I'm very close to putting up my second Xbox with all of my Xbox games, just to see if I can get some money for them.
I did sell off my spare PS3 and spare 360.
Yeah, I think that's coming for me. I might sell the PS3 just outright.
There's nothing I really want to play on them right now. Well, I mean, there is a game I kind of want to play on the 360, that Arcade Craft or whatever it is.
What?
It's kind of like a... You remember that game on iOS and Android where you would make games? I don't remember what it's called.
Vaguely. I kind of...
It's kind of like a game dev story.
Yeah.
Game dev story. It's kind of like that, except for you're not making games, but you're managing and running an arcade.
Is this like an indie title or something?
Yeah, it's an XBLA game.
Interesting. But Josh, Xbox does not have decent indie games.
Okay. I don't think any console has good indie games. As of right now, I
think the Journey clan out there is going to have your balls for that one.
I have a hard time, and I'm going to come off like an asshole for this, but I have a hard time calling that game company indie. I'm sorry. I can't call them indie. Because they got funded by Sony to make 3 games. That's not independent.
I don't know if did I ever talk about finishing that game with you?
No.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Enough.
I know that you said that you cried during it on the show.
Let's not dig into that.
And so I made that the title of the show.
Oh my God. I can't possibly understand how someone would cry from that experience.
I cried.
As neat as some of the stuff was, come the fuck on, man.
I cried, Bill.
I think that you're crying for other things. Like maybe the desolation reminded you of your actual life, and that's why you're weeping. Like something like that, but come on.
So what you're saying is you think with some people it brought something out, but you weren't related to the game?
Yeah, completely. They're just like, this is like a metaphor for my life.
I am definitely trying to walk up this snowy mountain, and I just feel like I'm getting pushed back.
I'm alone with all of my love dead around me. And so for that, maybe it is a better game than I give it credit for. Wow. Revelations, people. Look at your back, and we're already having these groundbreaking revelations about Journey. I think it's going on my Game of Year list.
Kyle will play Journey and be like, and that companion that was always with me was like my roommate, except for he abandoned me and took off with my girlfriend.
Oh, wow. But, I don't know. Managing an arcade does sound kind of neat. Is there arcade games to play, or can you be like the guy from Tron and just somehow you're some sort of popular star for some reason?
I guess like the whole premise is like you just, it takes place in like the 80s, and like Game Dev Story, where they can't call something Missile Command, they call it something else that you would automatically be like, this is Missile Command.
Sure.
And no, as far as I know, you can't play the games, but like, it's just a complete simulator. So you're placing the games in your arcade, you're setting the prices for the games, you're buying new games as they're coming out.
Yeah, this is like you made a game for yourself. Why aren't you playing this yet? What the fuck?
You have to kick out kids that are being rowdy with the machines and everything. Like, this is my life.
You don't like Street Fighter? Get out.
Exactly, yeah. So I watched the Giant Bomb quick look on it, and I was like, man, if it didn't take more effort from me plugging in my Xbox, I would probably have this right now. But yeah. I don't want to go through that effort.
I mean, it does amaze me on almost a weekly basis how difficult it is to plug an HDMI in. I mean, it is really fucking difficult. I mean, I usually get diagrams out. Frona brings me water somewhere through the process.
You just sweat.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
So difficult, man.
But like, that is a game that just screams like, Josh should play this.
Yeah. Your hate for the Xbox won out, apparently.
It's not the hate of anything. It's just, I don't want to.
Fanboy. Why don't you go fly your fucking Sony flag?
Don't make me mumble, Bill.
It does sound kind of neat. You should actually play it, because it seems like there would be some fun stories that you would come out of it with that like someone like myself would not.
Well, like, they keep saying that there's a possibility of a PC port, so I kind of don't want to buy it on the Xbox just to have it come out on the PC.
Yeah, I'll give you that then. I would do the same thing at this point in the console stage.
Yeah, like, especially the whole PS4 thing, right? Like, I'm very excited for it, and I'm sure at some point I'll end up with one, but as of right now, I am not going to buy anything on PSN because I can't carry it over.
Yeah, I don't really care about any of that.
But I do, because it's late in the console life where if I enjoy a downloadable title enough, I'm going to want to play it early on in the life of the next console, because there's not going to be enough games early on.
But you'll still have a PlayStation.
No, I won't. Dude,
you sell everything.
I would sell it off, yeah. Like, yes, I collect older machines. I have an NES, I have a Neo Geo, and all those older machines and everything else, but that's because they're collectible. And that's because I'm nostalgic for them. But I have no nostalgia for anything N64 and up.
Next time on Hoarders, local New Hampshire boy thinks things are collectible. No,
I love my NES.
Yeah, I get you. I get you.
You're a dick.
Well, I am a dick, but I don't see why. I mean, when are they possibly going to come out? November?
Yeah.
Yeah, just buy it, play it, then never play it again. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I was actually thinking about turning on my Xbox tonight and buying it.
Yeah, I mean, I turned mine on last weekend. It is almost at the stage of PlayStation now with me, where every time I turn it on, I have to update the thing.
Yeah.
It is nice that it takes like a minute compared to an hour, but it's still sort of annoying.
Yeah.
But I have a terrible feeling that the next time around the Xbox is going to be no different than the PlayStation. It's going to be that shit all the fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, what were we talking about, though? I don't remember.
Books!
What brought us on to this subject of, like, I was talking about how I didn't want to play any games, then we talking about indie games and stuff. Yeah. And I said, I'm a horrible person because I don't consider that game company indie.
Yeah. Well,
which I don't.
Well, they're not really indie. Aren't they owned by Sony?
No, they're not. They were funded by Sony to make 3 games, which ended up being Flow, Flower, and Journey.
Well, let's hope they don't end up like Insomniac and go all the consoles and just make shitty games now.
Yeah. So regardless, I don't consider them indie. And no, I haven't been using my consoles. And yes, the indie market is pathetic on the consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Steam, there's a shitload of indie games on there.
I never look at that stuff. Are you talking about the Greenlight section?
Not even just that, because there's a lot of indie games on there from years before. Like, one of my favorite games, Ares.
Yeah.
I mean, Greenlight's cool and all, but they have a shitload of indie games on there from before.
Ares seems like a game designed for the Ouya.
That seems like a game that was designed for me.
It does. You love that game.
So, yeah. Hey, Bill, any interesting stories? I mean, we're 23 minutes into this fucking thing.
Ah, your return story enough, isn't it?
So, yeah. Back on the point, I guess, is I got burnt out from games, and I didn't want to play anything, and fuck it.
I think all of us that have like things going on in our lives go through that from time to time. I don't think it's odd at all.
Well, it goes deeper than that, too. So, like, you have Far Cry 3, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but you have Far Cry 3, Crysis 3, Bioshock, and Dead Space 3. All came out recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am fucking tired of shooters. I cannot play a shooter. Like, I bought Far Cry 3 and Crysis 3, and Crysis 3 actually doesn't get me sick, so I could play it, but I don't want to play it.
It's not very good.
But it doesn't matter. I'm tired of shooters.
Yeah.
And that's why some of the games that I played that I'm going to talk about in a little while is because they felt refreshing to me. Even though they're not anything new, there's something that I haven't played a lot of lately. Whereas everything is a fucking shooter right now.
I can relate to that. I would enjoy like a really solid action RPG. It doesn't seem like there's really been much of those lately for a while now.
You talking like an Uncharted type game?
No, like, you know, I don't get all uppity, but like the first Dragon Age, something that has a big story and leveling and characters in my party, like that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I want something that I can spend a lot of time with. That was always my hope for the Vita, that there was going to be a bunch of that stuff on it that I could play on the couch. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like movies. For the longest time, it was just all superhero and rubbish. And now, like, this year, there's a bunch of science fiction stuff coming out, which makes me kind of happy, even though most of it looks terrible.
And you're going to get tired of that too, though. Like, the whole zombie thing. I've been over zombies.
Yeah, that's a better example, yeah.
I've been over zombies for 2 years at this point.
Yeah. The Walking Dead I don't understand why people watch that show. It's not very good. I stopped after the second season. It's really not very good.
Like, why can't we just bring sparkly vampires back?
Well...
Let me tell you about a little indie title.
Let me tell you about this book series I've been reading, Josh, where they're not so sparkly and they're fucking assholes.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, I figured this is Critical Strike book time, so let's do it.
No, you have to be here to rein us in. No book talk.
First off, let me apologize to all the listeners. I will never take a break from the show for more than an episode again.
Well, the bad part is that you took a break kind of in a bit where neither of us, Kyle and I, have any time. Like, I'm working like 65 plus hour weeks. Like, I'm just coming home, reading I eat, I crawl into bed with a book and go to sleep. Like, that's all I've been doing. So even if you would have been here, I wouldn't have had much else to contribute.
Well, see, that's another thing, too, is I got a little burnt out because, like, I was the one having to play all these games to talk about.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't finishing games. I would get, like, 4 or 5, maybe 7 hours into a game if I'm lucky, and then jump to the next one because I have to have something to talk about. Well, and, like, if you remember when you were recording the other show with David and Chia, I jumped on when you guys finished to have a quick conversation with you guys. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm not going to do Critical Strike if I have nothing to talk about.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I mean, but that's what Kyle and I improvised with other stuff because we don't really have a ton to talk about. And it's either, I enjoy doing a podcast with you two. I don't give a shit what we talk about. Like, we could spend the rest of this hour making jokes about Carl, just as fun.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm way too willing.
Let's talk about his hair. No.
Yeah, he always says he has a snappy haircut. I hate to tell you, you look like a fucking hipster.
Well, I mean, I know people want to hear about video games, and that's, you know, the focus of the show, I guess, but it just doesn't always work out like that, man. Like, I'm just so fucking burned out right now with work that I haven't been playing anything really. It's just, I don't have my brain is just melted when I get home. Like, if I did manual labor, I think I could come home and play games. But, man, like, my brain is firing from 6:30 until 7 at night. I don't want to do anything but just go to sleep.
That's why you need to play more things like Journey.
No, it's not very good.
It is. I loved it.
I know you did, and it doesn't... I can see some of the reasons why people enjoyed it as much as they did.
But I didn't go overboard with it like everybody did, though. Yeah. Yes, it was on my Game of the Year list, but that's for different reasons. That's
but your Game of the Year list doesn't count as much as some of the other ones.
What are you trying to say? Like, I don't matter?
No, your reasoning is better than theirs. Does that make sense? Like, no. I think David's point about that game for most people is that because it's so artful, it had to be, like, on the top of their list, when that has nothing to do with your reasoning. You had an enjoyable time with it, so for you, it being on your list, completely acceptable and makes sense to me. I think the reasoning that most people gave was bullshit. It's kind of like when someone likes a movie because it's the thing to like, even though it's a terrible fucking movie.
Like the Avengers?
No. The Avengers is just loud noises and colors.
Like Transformers?
No, that's way worse. Don't insult the Avengers by comparing it to a Michael Bay film. Oh, Jesus.
I just did.
I did watch Life of Pi last night and the rest of it today. It was okay. I kind of wish that I would have read the book now, because, you know, The Old Man and the Sea is my favorite book, and so I might actually go back and read this. Because I don't think they handled the twist very well, and I think if you were to have read the book, it would have been a much more, oh man, holy shit.
So do you want to start talking about video games now?
Yeah, totally. Sorry.
All right, Bill, what do you got for me?
I guess I will go first because I'll be quick.
I love the I'm just going to drink my Blue Moon while you crack your voice.
Ooh, you're drinking a Blue Moon, huh?
I am. I wanted to come back to the show.
I'm glad you came back to the show like a fucking man. That's what I'm happy about. Looks like you went out and found some hair on your balls, maybe your chest too.
I got a fucking beer in my hand, and, like, I was expecting Carl.
Best episode ever. Fuck you, Carl.
And he just let me down. Mm-hmm. That's all right. I'm going to put a tweet out about it saying, like, I forgot my Blue Moon next episode. Can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go through these somewhat quickly since we've been rambling for a bit. I know how you hate that, and we've got half an hour to get your shit done. Bam. David's been talking so much about Mass Effect 3. I tried going back to that, and I made it like 20 minutes, hit pause, and then I took a nap, and I got up and just shut the system off. So that didn't work out.
So you're just never going to play this, huh?
I think when the DLC is on sale, because that's the other thing, because as part of all of the DLC, it makes it kind of sort of the game I was wanting-ish. Well, then when you go and add up what all the fucking DLC costs, it's $60 fucking dollars. And I'm not going to go buy $60 for the DLC when DLC is something I hate. So if I can get later in this year, like a Game of the Year edition or a Game of the Year download on the next box, that's when I'll play it. When I can get all of that for like $20-ish, that's when I'll finally play that game.
Riddle me this. I know you hate Origin. If Origin did kind of a Steam sale and they had all the DLC for sale, would you do it?
No, because that's the whole thing is I have my game saves throughout the Xbox. I'm not willing to give all that up.
Even though you can use like a save game editor?
I would alter choices. I know myself. I would say that I did things that I didn't. I know that I would. No, it's going to be on the Xbox. At some point. Either there's a Game of the Year sale or disc, otherwise I'll just never play it. Yep. Just really wish Carl was here, but I tried playing a little bit of Halo 4.
Yeah. That one kind of was a surprise to me.
Well, there's a younger kid at work-ish. He's not real young, but I talk to him about games and stuff occasionally. He doesn't play much, but he plays Halo and Gears of War, so that should explain enough. He brought that in for me, just trying to be nice, I suppose. And so I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I made it to the 2nd level, and that was it.
So past the prologue.
I don't know if there was a prologue. Like, the game properly starts with you on the ship or whatever. But it feels really, really old and terrible. Like, there is no, like, zoom in with your rifle. There is no iron sight control, which for me in a shooter, I'm not playing you if you don't have that. It just feels funny to always have to fire from the hip. And you just start playing and it's all the same enemies as you've played before. It's like, why does this even exist? You could just replay the other Halo as if the story fucking mattered. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's just as terrible as it always was. I was kind of hoping that the new company would finally make that game as good as everyone thinks it is, and they didn't. It's the same shitty game.
Make it more than rechargeable shields and a bunch of enemies coming at you.
Yeah, Halo, I've never quite understood the lust for that game, and this does nothing to make it more understandable.
Well, I think honestly the lust came from the multiplayer.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But that was years ago. There's no reason to keep
there are better shooters to play online now.
Well, that's what I kept coming back to, is now that I've played Crysis, there's no reason to play this game. I mean, if you've played Crysis 2, I don't know how you could play Halo anymore, because it's rubbish. I mean, the AI, the shielding, everything. You're the evolved Master Chief in better in every way. The game's just better. I don't really like Crysis 3, far better than this fucking train wreck. Ugh. Just not good.
At least we got to see a new company try it out.
Yeah, they just made the same game, though, with better graphics.
But that's...
I know that's what
it's sad to say, but that's what people want.
I know, and that's I've been listening to people a little bit here and there talk about BioShock, and they're like, yeah, it's BioShocky. It's fucking called BioShock. What did you think it was going to be? Of course, it's just going to be more of the fucking same. I mean, that they've got a winning formula. Same with Halo. They're not going to change it. If a different company had made it like BioShock 2, I would have tried it expecting something different. Didn't work out then. Same thing this time. I don't know. What did you think it was going to be? Sorry.
So what did you think it was going to be, Bill?
I just thought it was going to be more BioShock, which it is, which is why I didn't buy it, which is why I'm not playing it, because I don't really want to play any more BioShock. Great the first time around, don't care to play it again in a different setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, but the story and the character, meh.
I've never wanted to care about story in a shooter. Sorry, I've never cared about a story in a shooter.
Seems like there was something I did at some point. Something.
Maybe the Tom Clancy games because you're fucking gay for that shit.
No, those stories are all terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, the stories are just excuses to shoot brown people. There's no story. Well, they are. Or Russians. I mean, come on. They don't put a whole lot of thought into that. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there was something I enjoyed the story in a shooter at some point, but Yeah, not usually. I tried a little bit of the Arma 3 Alpha with you on the line.
Yep.
It shows promise. I think, a little bit further down the road, when they get things actually start tying up knots and loose ends, it could be something fun. What I will say is that they have a little bit of controller support, but not all the buttons you need are on the controller, so you still have to use the keyboard. So
it was weird hearing you say, like, oh, I'm using my controller, but I have to press E to do this. Or, yeah, that sounded weird to me. At which point I would say, be a fucking man and use a keyboard and mouse.
I entered a menu on the controller, but you can't get back out of the menu without the keyboard. That was my favorite one. Like, that was just like, why even put the fucking controller controls out there when you can't escape menus without reaching up for the keyboard?
Yeah, that is odd.
Yeah, I mean, it ran at like 7 frames a second. It's an alpha for sure. But it seems like it could be a fun time if they just tone it down a touch.
There are so many cool things I love about Arma, though. Like watching the night gun battles, and you're seeing, what are they called? Fire trails or whatever.
Trace rounds, yeah.
Just flying in the sky. It's crazy. Like how detailed those are. And I appreciate watching videos of it more than ever playing it, because goddamn, is Arma intimidating to get into.
It really is. It's simple. Like, you're just a guy. You need to get to this point and kill everything on your way. But it's horribly fucking complicated.
But also, I don't work well in the team environments. No,
and in that game, I think you have to, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what's that game that you play sometimes?
Flashpoint?
The game you've been playing lately.
That I've been playing?
Here and there with your coworkers.
League?
Yeah,
League of Legends?
Same thing. Like, you have to, if you're not pulling your weight, everyone's going to freak the fuck out.
Right. Yeah, and I just, like, I can do it in League, obviously, because that's a completely different game. But in shooters, I just want to go off and be a lone wolf.
Yeah.
Like, the whole time I'm quoting Pee Wee Herman saying that I'm a rebel.
Yeah, I am Sam Fisher. I want to be by myself killing dudes. I just want my guys there for backup fire. I don't want to play the game properly. I want to be a fucking Rambo. Nobody wants to be Private Ensign something. Ugh.
Carl does.
Yeah, Carl does. He is a son of a bitch, isn't he?
Yep.
Outside of that, I played a little bit of Puzzle Quest 2 because it works well with my melted brain. It's Puzzle Quest. Not much to say about it.
That's like the free game that I got from SimCity on Origin. Bejeweled 3.
I've never played a Bejeweled game.
I had no interest in Mass Effect 3, no interest in Mass Effect,
any of
Dead Space.
Yeah, Dead Space especially.
None of it interests me. So I was like, well, is this or Plants vs. Zombies? I'm going with Bejeweled.
Yeah, I've never played Plants vs. Zombies either. Seems terrible.
So thanks, EA. I got fucking Bejeweled for nothing.
You're the bestest.
Which I did, like, early on in the Xbox 360's life, when XBLA games are coming out, and you had, I don't remember what the other game was, but Bejeweled was big on there. I played a shitload of Bejeweled on my high-definition console.
I think the one that I played mostly, that I just finally deleted knowing that I'm never going to play it again, is the Marble game.
The Marble game?
It was similar to like a Marble Madness-ish.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've never played that one.
Yeah.
But I know what you're talking about.
It's not on the store anymore. I mean, whatever, but it was one of those first Xbox 360 arcade things that was kind of neat.
But that's what I played a lot of on my 360 was Bejeweled. So I was like, well, I might as well get it. Fuck it. It's better than Dead Space.
Yeah, that's the consensus, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much it, mate.
All right. Time to actually talk about some games on Critical Strike for a change. I love me some Bit Trip.
I don't even know what Bit Trip is.
It's a series by Gaijin Games.
I don't even know what Gaijin Game is.
Well, they were a indie company who made WiiWare games very early on in the Wii's life. They released one of my favorite games this generation, Bit Trip Beat. And then they went on to do Bit Trip Core, Bit Trip Void, Bit Trip Runner, and Bit Trip Runner 2, which I guess actually wasn't even going to be a Bit Trip game. Like, there was some weird licensing issue where they own Commander Video.
Oh my god, someone already owns another Bit Trip title. What are we gonna fucking do? We have nothing else to name games.
Well, they made Bit Trip. That's what's weird. So they made Bit Trip. They made the character Commander Video.
Commander Video is his name? Let's not pull away from that quite quick. Commander what?
Commander Video.
God. Okay. Whatever, man.
Okay, well...
Who the fuck's naming everything in their company? Is it just like a foreigner or something? He knows like 7 words? Bit Trip, TV,
That's why they're
Captain?
called Gaijin Games.
Oh, so they actually are. Okay.
No, they're
Proceed.
not. They're not, though. But, so basically all the Bit Trip games are like retro-styled games. So like Bit Trip Beat was almost like it looked and played like an Atari 2600 game. But was very music based.
Sounds really.
So it's awesome. And so Bit Trip Runner started out kind of similarly. It looked like maybe a NES or Super Nintendo game, and again was very music based. So it's just another game where you're running. Your character runs. That's all he does, and you have to dodge obstacles.
Seems like Commander Video would do things other than run.
Commander Video is the one that's running.
That doesn't make any sense. Shouldn't he be in front of a screen or something?
I am looking at him on my screen, running. So he is in front of a screen, fuckface.
Is Commander Video your live wallpaper on your phone?
No, I don't actually have a wallpaper on my phone. It's just a blank thing.
That's no fun.
Yeah, I don't even use ringtones.
What?
Yeah.
I sense someone's calling. How do you
know?
know?
My phone is always on mute.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Because I'm an asshole.
Well, I'm kind of the same way. That's why I love that AnyDo task manager software, because I never answer my phone. And so it reminds me to call people back because I never will.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to call you all the time now.
Like, I've been delaying a call to my grandma since like Tuesday.
You should call your grandma after the show.
Nah, I'm going to call her tomorrow. My folks are going up there. Anyway, proceed.
So, anyways, Commander Video runs from left to right, and that's all he does. And your mission is to get him to dodge obstacles. So you have to jump or duck or do all these other things to make sure you don't hit obstacles, basically. Because if you do, you start back at the beginning of the level.
This sounds like someone destructed a NASCAR race.
Well, you've seen the game Cannonball, right?
Sort of.
Think that, but it doesn't stop. Except for if you hit an object, you go back to the beginning of the level, your points reset, and then you have to do it all over again.
This sounds like Temple Run. Is Temple Run based on this?
I don't know. I've never seen Temple Run.
Okay. It's like an endless runner, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, I guess so, yeah. So anyways, you're trying to dodge all the obstacles. And as you do, like if you jump over something, it changes the music a little bit. So every time you're doing something, the music is changing.
This does sound up your alley. Yeah.
So it's also not only an endless runner, but it's also a rhythm game. And the first one was notoriously really hard. People didn't like the fact that if midway through the level, if they hit something, it reset them all the way back to the beginning of the level. Because everybody's a pussy.
Sure.
Bit Trip Runner 2 not only really increased the graphics from the NES Super Nintendo style to modern day style graphics, which by the way looks fucking amazing, they listened to all the pussies and added a checkpoint in the middle of the level. So now if you hit the checkpoint, from that point on, if you hit something, it resets you from there and you can proceed. Well, at least they got smart and made it so if you're not a pussy, you can jump over the checkpoint, thus giving yourself 50,000 more points. So it kind of, you benefit if you care about setting scores in games or whatever and challenging yourself, then you can jump over the checkpoint, not activating it, and getting more points.
I see.
But ultimately, it's a really cool game. It's only like $15. I had a blast with it. I beat it, actually, because Mr. Mike Phillips was calling me out on Skype, I guess, saying that he's further in the game than I am. And I wasn't going to have that. So I beat it before him. Eat shit.
You're a real bad person, Josh.
So I would, because this was during that week that I had off, because I decided after my whole break and work confusion that I wanted a week off to just kind of chill out. So I beat Bit Tripper Under 2 during that period, and then the next game, Sleeping Dogs. Yeah, Sleeping Dogs is amazing, and I really wish I paid more attention to it when it came out.
Yeah, I need to get back to that game.
And for those that don't know, think Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, with much better graphics, a really awesome story, and amazing combat.
I hope you're not implying that Saints Row didn't have an amazing story. I hope that's not what you're doing here.
Take Saints Row out of the story category.
Okay,
because
just gameplay.
Saints Row doesn't take itself seriously in any way, shape, or form. Whereas Grand Theft Auto thinks it's a fucking cinematic experience.
Yeah. Did you see the trailer for the new Saints Row?
No. Once I heard that it has a dubstep gun, I will never own that game.
Dude, you're the president. You have superpowers, and you're defending from aliens, I believe.
I will never own that game.
Shut the fuck up. The dubstep gun is going to be just like the shark gun. It's not going to be part of the game. Neither you or I will ever have that.
Don't care.
God, don't be a faggot. I need Neo too.
No.
I need my Neo there with me. Who else am I going to play? God damn it.
I will never own Saints Row 4.
But just think of the I Need a Hero section of Saints Row 3. It's so great.
God, that was really good.
You know they're going to have something similar to that. And this time, since like they've already done Hulk Hogan, they're going to do somebody else. Like, there'll be like a Hacksaw Jim Duggan level or something.
I think he's dead.
Hacksaw? No, you're thinking of
so.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
They're all the same.
Yeah, they kind of are. By the way, so Sleeping Dogs, I honestly didn't know if you would like it because the story, there's an actual sort of story.
Yeah, but I think that's what drew me in, is because I don't know how much of it you played, so you're...
I got through where you like meet the girl and you take her to the dojo on your bike.
Okay, so you know you're at least as much of a cop.
Yeah.
You're a detective who's, what's the fucking word I'm thinking of?
Sexy.
You're a sexy cop who can do some amazing kung fu moves.
Yeah, you're a badass that is deep undercover.
Yes, undercover. That's the word I'm thinking of.
Pretty sure it wasn't sexy.
Trying to work with the triad.
Yeah.
So you can bring in a bunch of drug dealers and everything else. Mm-hmm. And I think that just kind of pulled me in for some reason. I loved the fact that I'm playing both sides. And
well, you do care and enjoy Asian movies. You like some of the way they tell their stories and the cinematography and the twists and things.
Yeah.
So this speaks to you a little bit more than something like Grand Theft Auto.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, like, going back to what I was saying earlier, why I haven't played Crysis 3 and Far Cry 3 is because I'm bored and tired of shooters. I haven't played a game like this since Saints Row, so you're talking a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely refreshing and new to me. And same with Bit Trip Runner. It's like, that's something that was new and refreshing to me.
Not to mention there's no gunplay in this.
There is.
It's not the
but
focus,
you don't have
though,
to.
yeah.
No, yeah, you absolutely don't have to. The combat itself is just really in depth. Like, you can literally take on, and that sounds really horrible, 6 or 7 guys.
Yeah, tell me more about the sexy cop and taking on 6 or 7 guys.
I wish Carl were here.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So,
well, like in the other games, if you were to be dropped into a small area with 6 other dudes, you would know it's not going to end well because you'd have to shoot your way out and they would just kill you. But here, You kind of do like a Jet Li move where you kind of motion, bring it on with your hand, and then just
It makes it
fools.
feel more realistic. Because, like, you are actually fighting for your life, and you can actually fight. Rather than in Grand Theft Auto, all you can do is punch.
Yeah. Grinding dudes' faces into air conditioner fans and breaking them through soda machines.
You are a killing machine in Sleeping Dogs.
You're a fucking monster.
And the fact that you can also upgrade and earn and learn new fighting combos and everything else is awesome. And the game, like if you play it on the PC and you download the high res texture pack,
for sure,
it looks fucking fantastic, man. Especially during night after it rains and the street is all wet.
And there's so much neon and shit everywhere.
There's neon
beautiful.
Lights because it takes place in China, and there's this, apparently the Chinese love their fluorescent neon lights.
Yeah, they're everywhere. See, whenever I drive around, I try as much as I can to take a bike. Because it seems like that's what I would be driving.
Yeah.
How did you deal with the driving on the opposite side of the road? It's a little different, isn't it?
That fucked me up.
It fucks me up quite a bit. I'm so conditioned to like how I turn and drive through cities in those games that like it totally broke all of my normal like paths through corners and things because I just wreck if I go that way.
And it's hilarious because they have all these mini challenges too, because like there's one where like the longer that you drive cleanly and not hit anybody or speed or do anything, like the counter goes up and it shows Billy Bill Black's time and I have to try to beat it. And
it's neat.
Like, yeah, like there's for almost anything in that game, there's little challenges that go along with it. So like if I kill X amount of people in a row, it's showing me how much like Camus did, and I try to beat that, and for some reason it just really clicks with me.
Yeah, well, that's speaking to your like of leaderboards and that type of thing, because they've embedded them into the gameplay. Which is why I don't care about that shit in other games, like the Pac-Man. What was the Pac-Man revamp called?
Championship Edition.
Yeah, like it was really fun to play, but I don't give a shit about what it says after I'm done playing. But when you embed it into the gameplay where there's like almost like a countdown until I beat Josh's score, that drives me to continue driving clean or do whatever I'm doing.
Right.
I think if more games were to just embed it into the moment, it adds that certain level of tension and stress that is probably why you find it so much fun. Because I kept doing that. I was just focused on beating Chia's time. It's like, I'm gonna fucking beat Chia, god damn it. And then when you do, it's just like, yeah, you just have this great feeling of nothing, because it means nothing, but it's so awesome. And you send him a little message, and apparently I'm a better driver than you.
In a video game, on the wrong side of the road.
It's great.
So yeah, the game is fantastic. I love the story. I love the way you have to try to play both sides of being a good guy and a bad guy, and you get caught up in it. So like there was a while where I did further in the bad guy missions because I was like, holy shit, I love being this badass triad man. And I don't care about being a cop anymore. Fuck it. So yeah, I would have to absolutely recommend Sleeping Dogs to anybody. And I know James played it a long time ago and he told all of us to play it, and like we all downloaded it and bought it on Steam, but nobody really played it for very long.
I got it. I think I got the code on eBay for super cheap. Like I
did too.
I scored it for like what, $12 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a shitload of DLC for it, but I will never play it.
Yeah, I'll never do any of that stuff. It's kind of the same thing with like Mass Effect's DLC is different because it finishes the game they should have done. But in a game like this, if you go and spend 30 some hours, if it's not part of that run, I'm never going back to it.
Well, that's why I didn't get the Saints Row DLC.
Yeah, I really regret buying that. I just loved the game so much that I thought it would be more, and it just felt different. It has to be within that initial run.
Yep.
I think Borderlands 2 is a little different. Once they're done with all that, I plan on going back, and you and I and maybe Carl or David will go through the plus mode.
Oh, I definitely will. But I think like we wanted time away from that game too.
Yeah, and that's still different. It's a second playthrough. Everything's a little harder, and now there's more content that changes things. Whereas something like this, it just feels tacked on.
Where all I'm doing is entering a different mode.
Yeah, not for me. To me, it's where DLC really fails. I don't like that type of thing.
Yeah, I can completely agree.
Like, I like expansion packs. I don't like extra missions. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, Sleeping Dogs, fantastic. I think everybody should play it, honestly. If you like games like Grand Theft Auto and Saints Row and stuff like that, Sleeping Dogs it's just, I wish it got more attention. I honestly do, because other than James, I never really heard anybody talk about it.
Well, I mean no offense by this, but I would have never guessed that you would have liked a game like this. And I think that speaks to why you didn't hear a lot about it, is I think a lot of people just assumed they wouldn't probably enjoy it, or it wasn't their type of game. I honestly would have not guessed you would have played this game.
I don't know why, but okay.
Well, it just doesn't seem like a Josh game. It doesn't.
It screams a Josh game.
Well, once you know what is involved and what the gameplay is and all of the reasons it's great, but from the cover and their commercials, what most people assume, at least what I assumed going into it, it was just a Grand Theft Auto game that happened to be China-based. And that's really not what it was. I mean, it was the GTA open world style, but it's not that type of game.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And so I think there's a lot of people there's like, it's just another one of those. I don't need that right now. And that sucks for them.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
It's cheap now, so people really probably should play it. I think Elaine just went through it and loved it as well.
Yeah, she finished it like 2 days after I did.
I don't know how she has the time, man. I really don't. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm glad that I had that week off. Actually, I beat that game like 2 days start to finish.
That's mental. Mental.
I was at my PC a lot.
You were
my
naked
computer...
and covered in Doritos or something, weren't you? Just your cats feeding popcorn off your chest.
Yeah.
Meow.
My video card during that period was like screaming help me because it was overheating because I had all the fucking crazy textures on and shadows and everything else. And I played that game for like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, see, that's really why I quit playing it, is that the old video card was just busting. It kept crashing because it couldn't handle it. I mean, it's ATI based, I think, which is part of it, but still, like, its age was not pulling it through. So
you should definitely go back to it.
Yeah, now that I've got something that can handle it, I probably will.
Other than that, I don't really feel like talking about SimCity. I don't think there's anything left to really say about SimCity.
Nah, there's not.
Everybody kind of made their decision on it already. I absolutely love it, but
I think for the most part I was correct, is that everyone's done playing it already, barring a few hardcore fans. Its time has passed and forgotten. It's not like the old ones. It's a different day. It's done.
Fair enough. After that, after I finished Saints Row, or not Saints Row, Sleeping Dogs, I was like, Bill, what game should I play next? And you were like, I don't know, what about fucking Tomb Raider?
Well, everyone was playing it. It was out that time, and you could get a pretty cheap code on eBay if you watched for it, or Green Man, which I think is what you end up doing, right?
I got it for like $35 on Green Man, yeah.
$35 is pretty sweet price.
Uh,
You go in as an Uncharted fan, or me, I'm completely done with Naughty Dog and their games. So, did you go in, because a lot of people were saying, hey, it's Uncharted-ish-y, kinda-ish.
No, I went in as I've never played a Tomb Raider game before,
Mm-hmm.
so I wanted to see what it was all about. And for the most part, it was cool. I liked it. Very boring. Like the first, I would say 7 hours of the game, I was excruciatingly
The first
bored.
80% of the game is so boring.
It really was, and it's funny the little things that I pick up on. And yes, I am an Uncharted fan, so I don't. In Uncharted 3, one of the biggest things that everybody kind of oohed and awed over was when Drake had to like make himself fit between those two boulders, and it showed off the crazy lighting effect of the torch in his hand and everything else. This game does that like a good 125 times. Just to be like, oh, well, we can do it too, and now we're gonna jam it down your fucking throat.
You don't like fire, Josh?
And then also in Uncharted 3, they showed off that really cool flame tech that they had when the buildings were going on fire. Every building is on fire in this game. Literally. Every building.
All the huts are burning. They're burning.
So it was stuff like that it just kind of... And I was talking to Mike about this, who also beat it. I was like, every time that you would get something new in the game, because you basically start off with a bow and arrow, and that's it. every time that you would get a new ability or a new item, you had to do it a good 600 times, and then that's the last time you ever touched it. So it was just really weird how, like, it beat things into your head to make you remember how to do it, and then from that point on, you never had to do it again. And yes, I am being a little bit of a dick with this game, and I don't know why.
You hate women, Josh.
Maybe it's because I hate women, and maybe it's because you recommended it to me.
I didn't recommend. I hadn't played it. I'm just like, I don't know, fucking Tomb Raider's out. You can try that.
When I go, hey, what game should I play? And you say, buy Tomb Raider, and I do it. You recommended it to me at that point, so it's on you.
Normally, my answer is play Dragon Age or Mass Effect or anything from BioWare, is it not?
No, you've actually never done that to me.
You're lying.
I don't actually remember you ever recommended me a BioWare game.
Well, I don't think I've ever recommended you seriously play anything. And I wouldn't count this either. I was just like,
I'm counting this.
Well, everyone's playing Tomb Raider, I guess. No, and actually, I think my recommendation was, if you go on eBay, you can grab BioShock and this for like $50.
And I think at which point I responded with, neither game is worth $30.
Yeah.
But overall, I did, as the game went on, I did start to enjoy it quite a bit. It just starts off very slow and boring.
7 hours isn't really starting off boring and slow, though. That's like most of the game, isn't it?
Yes. It is a very short game, I will say that as well. But I did enjoy it. It looks really good on the PC, as you would expect.
Yeah. I mean, is the combat at least not broken like Uncharted, where if I shoot someone in the fucking head, they're dead because I shot them in the head?
Yes, and it does call out that you got a headshot every fucking time.
Well, I can live with that if they're dying when I shoot them in the head.
But it does also introduce guys that have all this head armor, and you have to shoot them like 12 times.
So it's just, I hated those in Uncharted. It was terrible.
And it also, the combat feels really worthless in a way, because like it's never like open world combat like in Uncharted, where like you're in this big mass and you can run around trains and hide from guys coming at you. Like it always puts you in this funnel. So basically you're in this really narrow path with a bunch of enemies coming down you, where you have nowhere to go. And you basically just pick them off as they're coming. So it's really cheap combat in that way.
That sucks.
But also, like, the combat also feels completely unfair, because here these guys are coming with fucking missile launchers and Molotov cocktails, and all you have is a fucking bow and arrow.
Rambo did it.
Rambo also didn't have tits. Well,
like,
no, he kind of did.
Kind of did, yeah. They're great man tits.
That's another thing, actually.
I like breasts.
As the game progressed, I noticed that throughout certain sections of the game, the further you got, her shirt starts to rip, revealing her bra as the game goes on.
Well, of course it does. The people didn't play this for all those years because they thought platforming was the best thing in the world. They did it because it was a really hot woman bouncing around doing shit.
Yeah, and it really tries to draw your attention to looking at her ass. Like, there's like every other cutscene starts with her bending over.
Interest rising.
Also, they call it Tomb Raider, but
there's no tombs.
There's no tombs.
Well,
there's optional tombs. Tombs.
Well, it is kind of a revamp of the story, and this is her beginning, the person she becomes. So I can get past that.
Yeah, I suppose, if you had to.
Well, they couldn't call it anything else. That's the thing,
Laura Croft's Crazy Adventures?
No.
I don't know.
Like, can you imagine the interwebs if they're making a Tomb Raider game and not calling it Tomb Raider, I'm out. That's what would have happened right there. Half the people automatically assholes.
I do remember how the internet was when they showed a colorful Diablo 3, so.
Exactly. It's just, yeah. It's the same thing with BioShock. Like, you can't, and Halo, you can't deviate from it too much or everyone loses their shit. And if you call it something different in order to do so, then they freak out even more.
Yeah. The game does have a lot of redeeming qualities, and I did enjoy it. So I guess, like, if you like action-adventure games and going along with the I'm tired of shooters, I wanted something fresh. This felt fresh to me, so I could...
Was the story solid enough so that when everything was said and done, they're establishing like a new life for this character again? Like, does it make you interested in like, okay, now and she's done all this, she's becoming who she's meant to be, the next adventure should be pretty great? Like, is it set it up for that, or are you just like, this was a good one-time thing, but I don't see myself going back to the next one?
I would say it was a good one-time thing.
Okay.
I don't see myself going on to the next one because for the first 10 hours of the game or 8 hours of the game, I couldn't tell you what was happening.
Sure.
I had no clue who these people were. I had no clue why these guys are shooting at me. I didn't know anything.
See, that's where Uncharted is great. Like, the story is really fun, and I enjoy all of that. It's just the gameplay got to be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping whatever they do going forward, they fix that and go back to making it good again. And I don't know. I would hope that this game was supposed to be, Uncharted basically broke our game for us because we can't put out something in even remotely close to this without trying to be close to it. Did they succeed in that? I mean, is it setting up a base where they could, on the next game, build something like Uncharted?
Yeah, I mean, Uncharted's biggest things and why people keep going back to it, though, is yes, people love the character and the story, but they mainly love the set pieces, like those crazy things that happen. So, like the scene where in Uncharted 3 where the boat is capsizing and you're stuck in it and everything else. It's stuff like that.
I didn't make it that far.
Okay, so the train sequence in Uncharted 2.
Okay.
It's those massive, crazy set pieces.
It's the stuff from an Indiana Jones movie. The scenes you remember,
Exactly.
They make those scenes in games.
Yep.
And then they didn't do it this time, but could they do it going forward? Do you think the team's there for it?
They did a few of them in this near the end.
Okay.
But not like anywhere in the game. And from that point on, though, like once they did them, that's all they did. Like over and over. And it was the same thing over and over. It's like how I said, like they make you go through a tunnel, so look at your ass or her ass 20 times. It was the same thing.
Mm.
They just beat things in your head. And maybe it was just me being like, I really don't want to play this, but yeah, I don't know.
I'd rather stare at Nate's ass.
Something about clowns.
I mean, it is... Do you know if it's sold well?
I don't know. I don't follow sales of games.
No, I don't even know where you would look anymore other than hearing someone saying it in passing, so never mind.
I'm not a jackass. I don't care how things sell. I just buy and play games.
Well, I mean, I guess my question is caused by, if it's sold well, maybe they'll get more money, a bigger team, and then the next time around they can do more of the stuff that you want. Because I want to say the team was smaller and they were just given a shot and they took it.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's a good game. I liked the way it ended up. I just wish either I missed something because it didn't like throw it out there in my face, but I had like no clue what was going on. So yeah. I think that's there's a weird detachment with me in the actual game.
Well, that's how I am with Crysis 3. I have no clue what's going on. I just like shooting aliens from a cloak.
Gameplay wise, though, it was fun. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Other than the funneled combat.
Sounds like you don't like all the ass shots, if I gotta put it out there. Yeah.
Cunt.
Well, at least you had some fun on your vacation. That's what counts.
Yeah, I beat 3 games. That's more than you guys have in 2 years.
I wouldn't go that far.
So that's basically it. You got anything else you want to throw out there, Bill?
No, I don't think so.
All right, Kyle, why don't you tell them how they can get in contact with us if they so choose?
I forgot my laptop.
And, Bill, why don't you do your section?
You can hit us on Twitter at Nacero KR Dumond or Billy Bill Black or at Critical Strike. The phone number, which apparently Kyle told me he used last year, so we'll keep on going with that, which is 909-C-Strike or 909-278-7453. Or you can always hit us on Gmail at cstrikepodcast@gmail.com.
But basically, everybody always sends in Twitter comments.
Yeah, because Twitter is, easier. We were at a wine tasting like last week talking to this older couple whose daughter she's like maybe 19 or 20 or something. And
was she hot?
The daughter or the mom?
The daughter.
I don't know. I didn't see a picture of her daughter or anything else.
What about the mom?
I was talking to her mom. Mom was okay. I'm guessing the daughter was probably okay too.
Missed opportunity.
Well, what she was saying is that, like, her daughter, like, they don't even email anymore. Like, if it's not Twitter or Facebook, like, that's just what the kids do these days, apparently. Which I thought was really odd, that email is somehow becoming outdated.
It's kind of weird that, like, even texting is becoming outdated.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't use Facebook. I have no way. Like, there's been a couple times here lately where I've gotten bitched out for not being on Facebook, and I just looked my friend in the face and just said, "What happened to you?" Because it's like, fuck you, you fucking douchebag. Well, we would have invited you, but we put out a thing on Facebook. You're not on it, so I didn't think to, call you. It's just, she put it out on Facebook, and that's who got invited. I don't give a shit about being invited, but don't give me shit for not coming because I'm not on Facebook.
Right.
And so it's just, it's odd for me to think that email is somehow becoming antiquated and old. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you're like a 14-year-old out there, email?
Yeah,
the fuck is email? I mean,
look at what we use email for. Animated GIFs.
Well, no, we're forming a new language of the future, Josh. We're cutting the sod apart in the open Midwestern landscape of a new language being formed, which I can express a whole list of emotions in one animated GIF.
Yeah, what was it, like every day last week? Kyle and I basically had
the last month, day, maybe longer.
An entire conversation with just GIFs. Mm-hmm.
Well, the fact
you're just stuck there watching.
Yeah, if they're just embedded into the email now, so it's not like you have to click out of it, which I unfortunately have to send them like that sometimes from the phone and things, because I don't even know how to do it on a mobile device. Can you?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I just, it's so entertaining to, like, when I just show all the messages and just scroll down this whole series of animated pictures that all are kind of saying different things, and like you get the gist of everything that's happening. It's cool as shit.
Is it better than what I've been texting you, pictures-wise?
Yes, because we can actually talk about the emails. Zing!
Yeah, it's still creepy.
And as always, hit Platform Nation for a slew of other podcasts, because they're fun.
And leave us an iTunes review. Carl would really appreciate it. Maybe he'll show up at a podcast again.
Yeah, see,
maybe this is Kyle's way of bowing out.
It would be hilarious if Kyle decided to quit.
I would actually appreciate it.
Yeah. I would also like to note how we're decent people for putting all this shit at the end of a podcast instead of the first 4 fucking minutes. If you do that, you are a bad person, and stop doing it.
Why? What show does that?
Numerous ones. Like the Nerdist does it. I always just have to, I start it, hit pause, wait 4 minutes, skip ahead until the show starts. And there's a couple other ones that do it where it's just 4 minutes of asking for reviews. This is how you get a hold of us. This is all of our shit. I got this show here. I'm doing this. And the show doesn't start for 4 or 5 fucking minutes. I hate that.
It's odd.
No, it's just a dick thing to do. It's not odd. It's a dick thing to do.
All right. I get the fucking point. Jesus.
I'm sorry. You don't do it. You're not a dick. But if you do, right? You are a dick and a bad person. You should feel bad.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. As well as Carl, because you're a bad person and you should feel bad.
He didn't even show up for the reunion.
Well, it wasn't like a message like, I'm not going to podcast. There's like 19 fucking ways to get a hold of us.
Well, email is an old technology now, Bill.
Yeah, it's just...
Kyle is hip.
I mean, I forgot my laptop. I can't do work. I read that as I didn't bring my work home. That's my way of covering myself or something. What does it have to do with anything? Right. You've been tweeting all week questions for the podcast. Fucking Carl.
Yep. Which, by the way, thanks for all the book questions.
There was a lot of book questions.
That's over with now. No more book talk on the show. Unless I'm not on, I guess.
Well, it's filler. Like when we have 3 people, you can scrounge together a video game show. But when you remove one of those parts, it becomes a bit tougher. So you fill in the gaps with other fiction and entertainment, whether it's movies, TV, or books.
I'm going to put it out like this. I suddenly felt like Critical Strike was an anime, and you just had like 6 episodes of filler. And I apologize.
You should. You should cut that into the beginning, by the way. That's not a dick thing to do. That's the respectable man thing to do.
I'm going to cut the where can you reach us into the beginning now. All right. I have a cat yelling, so I will it's time we end this.
Fuck you, Carl.
Later.